Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of TCG Talk, back today with another video. And in today's video, we're talking about Uzuri and some of the upgrades that she got in Mistveil, and kind of talk about the hero in general, because I think Uzuri actually still has a pretty solid place in the meta. And although New can do some things that Uzuri inherently can't, with stuff like Hiss and Venomous Bite and some of the Mystic cards, I do think Uzuri has certain play into certain heroes and can be crazy disruptive build now, and we'll kind of talk about that as we go through this list. But hopefully you're having a great day. Hopefully you're having a great release weekend. I opened my boxes yesterday. I have a case and Reagan has a case. She's currently working in DreamHack Dallas right now. She comes back Monday, so her case is sitting over there just staring at it. But I opened my case. I ended up opening 3 legendaries and a Marvel. I opened up Mask of Recurring Nightmares, another one. I opened 12 Petal Kasaya, but I opened the full art version, and then I opened Traverse the Universe, and then I got a Stir the Pot Marvel. So pretty cool. We'll see if Reagan can beat me on Monday. Hopefully she can, honestly. But yeah, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you're a long-standing supporter, thank you so much as always. We'll get right into it. I have wasted enough time. But yeah, Uzuri to me, I think, is in an interesting spot. It's like New can inherently do some things that Uzuri can't. Due to having Mask of Recurring Nightmares, she has a very good end game. She can just like mill out opponents. Uzuri doesn't quite have like that deterministic end game, but she does have the ability to utilize Isolate to its fullest extent and be able to close out in other ways. The other thing that Uzuri can do that New inherently can't, even though New does have a good blue base, is be able to use her swaps effectively on some of these higher cost cards, like the 1 and 2 cost, to be able to throw the opponent off and give them the similar, question that New is starting to pose, which is like, what am I going to react with, right? And I think Uzuri can go into a way where she's going to be even more disruptive than she's been before, and you can really tailor her now to attack certain heroes. A lot of heroes, I think, going into this meta are going to care about names on cards like Zen. They're going to care about certain pitch colors, certain power cards. It's going to be a very dynamic style meta, not just like straight numbers. And I think Uzuri can use some of the inclusions that she got in Mistveil to help like really attack every single hero, and she can chop and change based off that. So this list is more of a mid-range list, and the purpose of my list specifically is to attack each hero specifically with a certain package of cards, right? I think you can run Uzuri in a bunch of different ways still. You can run her in the red line version, really chain, aggro with disruption. You can run like the hard contract version and really try to fatigue him out, and then include some certain additions like Bonds of Agony, Persuasive Prognosis, and Our Desire Mind in those builds and really like fatigue them out. Or you can run like this mid-range with a bunch of disruptive packages, which we'll talk about here in a second, to be able to like really tailor your matchup to your opponent. So I'm not going to go super like card by card. I just want to kind of give you the baseline and then get your feedback as a community, see what you think. So for the equipment, it's pretty standard, right? We have all the good stuff. Black Tech Whispers, Crown Province is in the main. I'm not running Mask of Perdition. We're not quite running enough contract, in my opinion, to make that worth it. So Crown Province is in the main board, and then we have Balance of Justice in the side for Prism matchup or anybody that cares about drawing 2 cards, right? There's a lot of them. Flick Knives, a bunch of use cases for this, obviously, right? And then the 2 main blades. When it comes to sideboard equipment, we're running Balance of Justice. This is for KO, Zen, Katsu, Prism, Levia, right? Anybody that cares about drawing 2 cards, really solid card. We have AB1. We're kind of sacrificing the Kano matchup early on. I want to see if Kano stay relevant. I think Kano does have a chance to, but early on, I'm not teching for Kano. I'm just not. If I run into him, I run into him, right? It's already a bad matchup no matter what you do. And then Scale Peeler for Warrior, and then finally Van Brace for Enigma. That is our sideboard equipment. So in the main board, we have 51 cards. It's really just the good stuff package. We have a lot of flexibility here and a lot of things that we can do. Basically, I'd say the core concept of the game plan is, 1, we include some of the new stealth cards. I have Bonds of Agony. You could honestly run this at a 1 or a 2 of. I'm running at a 3 of because I want to see it more and see how often it works. But it may end up going down to a 2 of just because getting that 3 reaction is a little bit harder in Uzuri. But regardless, we're running that. I'm running Our Desire Mind. I think you could also run Infect in this spot if you want to tech into Enigma a little bit more. But I do like the fact that we can potentially banish a blue. This plays a little bit more to a fatigue style game plan, which is like my personal like way I like to play Assassin. But It also allows you to potentially gain a life and draw a card into an arsenal, which is really nice. And then we're also running Persuasive Prognosis. This card's going to be in every assassin ever. It's just too good. Even in Arachne, I would run that card. So good. So we're adding those in. And then we also added Just a Nick in. Again, this could go anywhere from 2 to a 3 of, depending on how things go. I think it's equally as consistent in Uzuri as it is in new. Like if you think about a standard new list, which I'll bring up here for a second, like my new list has 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 1 powers in it as targets for Just a Nick. And even in this Uzuri list, I have 3, 6, 9, 12 1 power targets. So it's really not that bad. And I think it's going to be really good. I would definitely run it at a 2 of at least. You could argue 2 or 3 of, but that's what we have. And then also for new cards in the sideboard, we are running the Weakest Link. I think this card is so good in Uzuri. It allows her to have game into all the Mystic Heroes because they all run non-blocks. Has more game into Levia, more game into KO, game into Prism. It allows you to really target a lot of different heroes in the meta, and you can just chop and change it when you need it or when you don't need it. So that's like the new cards I took in. And my basic game plan is to just run this good 51 card core that has a lot of disruption in it with like Censor and Command and Conquer, and Leave No Witnesses, Shakedown, Surgical Extraction, Persuasive Prognosis. Like we already have a lot of disruption in this deck, and we can run stuff like Shakedown and Censor, which yes, New has access to Censor, but she doesn't have access to Shakedown, and she's not going to run Censor as much because it just doesn't fit in her core synergy concepts, right? But it does fit in Uzuri. Then we're also running some really good stealths. We're running 6 isolates. Honestly, you could go to just the blues. I'm just trying out the yellows because I want to see how it feels, but it might end up just going down to just blues when we put something else in its place. And then we're also running for stealths Our Desire Mind, Bonds of Agony, and Persuasive Prognosis. So we're on 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 stealth cards, and we're on a good amount of disruption. We're running Sinks and Fates for the value, right? 2 looking for scraps to get that value once we use one of these 1 powers or block with them. Leave No Witnesses and Lightning Strike. Like all this is pretty normal Uzuri stuff. The main purpose of what we're trying to do here is run cards like Censor, Shakedown, and then we also board in. You see we're at 51 card main board. We board in based off what we need. So let's look at like some of the top heroes in the meta. If we're playing Azalea, we'll end up putting stuff in like Death Touch, put stuff like Inertia Trap, Warmonger's Diplomacy, and maybe like a 1 of something else, probably like an Already Dead, just to help our damage curve a little bit. When you're playing like a Ninja, you'll end up putting in like Death Touch, Amnesia. I would put in an Inertia Trap personally. And then if you're playing Zen, you'll put in like Weakest Link. Really, really good there. And then if we're playing something like Illusionist, Enigma specifically, we're going to be putting in Inertia Trap because it's very good, Weakest Link, and Codex of Bloodrot. And then running a 60 card core and really trying to kill them. If you're playing Prism, you'll add in all these poppers and then also add in Weakest Link and really try to kill them through that, and even Codex of Bloodrot. As you can see, like we have different packages for different things, and you can run based off what you're comfortable with. In the Warrior, still running that Death Touch to try to get that Frailty token, running Inertia Trap, and then you'll probably end up running Already Dead to help, get keep them off those dynamos potentially. And that's what we're doing. You're at 51 card core, and you're just trying to chop and change packages based off, who you're playing. I think a lot of heroes right now are very synergistic, more so than they were last format. Last format was just sheer numbers for the most part, right? That's what we were on value. Victor, KO, stuff like that. This meta, I think, is more on synergy and on specific like card combinations, and that's where these disruptive packages, like Uzuri always ran disruptive packages, but you can really like hone in and focus on them based off who you're playing. And I think that this actually is a pretty solid list in order to do that. So this isn't going to be too long, right? Only like 10 minutes or so. I wanted to keep it short. I wanted to kind of give you a basis. Definitely play around with the ratios, play around with what you think is best. If you want to go a little bit more red line, right, maybe you get rid of the Our Desire Minds and the Isolates, and then you put in like Rabble and Nimblism and like 1 Nimble Strike, right? You could make it that way. If you want to go a little bit more contract, right, you could take out maybe the yellow Isolates, put in like Annihilate the Armed. It all depends on what you want to do, right? But I think this is a good baseline for like a mid-range, just like sheer disruptive build where you have different disruptive packages based off who you're playing. I think that's really, really good. So definitely let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'd love to hear it from you. I've been really excited just building different assassin stuff. Let me know if there's a build or an archetype that I haven't covered that you want me to try to like explore. I'll try to explore it for you, but I'm really excited about this as well. So if you like this type of content, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe. If not me, though, it's totally fine. Go to another creator, leave a like, comment, subscribe on their stuff so we can get more people seeing this game. And yeah, I'll see y'all next time on TCG Talk. Thank y'all so much.